origin store. Oh yeah, and then watching top of the fire. Movie and TV show reviews that you need. Film preps on fire, we're planting the seeds. Film prep, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn your phone, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3. From blockbusters to indie gold. Oh yeah, Chris and Alan break the mold. Pop your corn, turn down the lights.
Welcome everyone. Happy Friday. Lots going on. Lots of movie news. Spaceballs is coming. It's Father's Day weekend. Well, Father's Day on Sunday. So we have some Star Wars related Father's Day news. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked, I tell you. Plus, so much movie news, I can't keep up. That's right. A lot of news and reviews. How to Train Your Dragon, the Unholy Trinity, new Western with Pierce Brosnan and Samuel L. Jackson, and Materialists. And guess who's in it? That's right, Pedro Pascal. So let's get things started. Let's go. Alan is here. I know he's here somewhere. So the song's going to repeat if I don't start the show. It's just going to repeat. Now, where the hell?
Okay, hello, Mr. Gore. Where the fuck is Mr. Allen?
Where are you?
Conor McGregor.
Oh, and just so you know, as we get started here, there is going to be a lot of Superman news. A lot, so stick with us.
Oh my god.
That's just some of the Superman news we're gonna get to in the show today. How's it going, man?
Good. It's finally good to see something that Superman has that Fantastic Four won't have.
Well, I don't even. Yeah. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll probably play that too many times during the show because
We'll
I will not get sick of that. I will not get sick of that. So let's see who's here. Let's see what's happening.
Yeah, Veronica Hernandez just became a YouTube member.
Thank you, Veronica.
Let's see. Press M to start for 2. It's Friday, my dudes. May the good times roll on.
And I got a package going out to you at some point, M. Get ready for it. DVDs.
Like Dick Shark?
No.
Have you run out of those already?
I'm out, completely out.
Brock Samside, good morning, beautiful people. Hope you're doing well this morning.
Thank you.
Laura Buckles, happy Jason Voorhees Day.
Yeah, it's Friday the 13th, and today, I guess, is an anniversary of Friday the 13th. There's some anniversary in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think that anniversary is day 1 of World War III, but that's for
that it?
Yeah,
oh, that's right. Well, let's not get into that depressing news here.
Right.
But on the good news front, look, we have a camp film threat that relates to, say, Friday the 13th. Many of the victims of Jason were dispensed with at a camp. You can get a camp film threat t-shirt, a hat, a mug, look, I got the mug right here. I got the mug.
Very nice.
There you go. Go to shop.filmthreat.com for all your film threat needs. And then also get our Jaws themed t-shirt and or tank top. I have the shirts, the film threats, and I got Alan.
Yes.
I couldn't resist. I got the bucket. I do not care about Superman or Fantastic Four buckets, but Jaws is here. Wow. And I saw a trailer for an upcoming documentary on National Geographic about the making of Jaws. So I am pumped. It's a Jaws summer.
I may actually get that one now.
Yeah, it's that good. And a couple more here.
Yeah, Bam Brindle Beard the third for $1.99. I really enjoyed The Life of Chuck.
Yeah, I saw it twice and really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
So I may go back and see it again before it leaves theaters.
And Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram, buy our merch, shop.filmthread.com.
There you go. We appreciate you, Lord Thoth. Thank you so much. Oh, something here from
And from Pilgrim Media for 2, what's Disney's play when Fantastic Four tanks at the box office?
Well, they've already made their decision. They're going away for almost a year and a half until Doomsday comes out. So the play has been determined.
Yeah.
And I think it's that Fantastic Four tanking may only affect things that happen after Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, is Spider-Man going to be fully Sony then, or
fully Sony? And I think it'll do fine. The Spider-Man movies are, they're like the Avengers movies. They're the tent poles for Marvel.
Yeah.
So
it's when Marvel needs half a blockbuster.
Yeah. There you go. So, Alan, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
This weekend, this Sunday is Father's Day. You and I, Alan, we are both fathers.
Yeah.
And would you believe it? One of the classic lines from Star Wars, no, I am your father. He doesn't say, Luke, I am your father. He says, no, I am your father.
I'm your Father's Day.
Exactly. So to celebrate, the Star Wars official YouTube channel released a video here. It's I'm Your Father's Day unboxing with Guess Who. Let's watch.
You're like a father to him.
Wherever I go, he goes. You're a very special kid.
Jake, gift ideas with Pedro Pascal.
Incredible.
Yay.
He nailed it. Oh, wow. Wow, this is so bad. Sorry, don't use words like that at home, kids.
My dad was the same way.
I didn't have anything like this when I was a kid. Where can you get this? Unbelievable! What's Vader doing with this, torpedo thing? Is there a show I missed? Vader has a Mando weapon on him? Blasphemy. You know what? You fall. Mando can have anything he wants. Wizard. What I love more than anything is kind of like walking around and seeing Grogu as part of Christmas decorations or Halloween decorations, any kind of season. And then I kind of anonymously walk past these people's house and I'm like, I met him first. Then I will adopt him as my own.
All right. I'm Your Father's Day 2025. Disney co-opting this holiday, as if we cannot get any more Pedro Pascal. That promo drops. So there you go.
I'm just afraid I'll wake up Sunday morning and my family will give me a gay shirt like that.
Yeah, you're gonna get one. You're getting a gay shirt for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Alan.
Happy Father's Day, Chris.
You know what? I have your Father's Day gift right here.
Yeah, my wife will give me the pass on that one. Yeah.
You earned it, Alan. You earned it. Hey, the big news dropped. Bill Pullman and Rick Moranis are returning.
Amazing.
For a new Spaceballs. Let me bring up the story, Alan, while you read it to me.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear the details.
Well, Bill Pullman and Rick Moranis returning for the new Spaceballs. Amazon MGM Studios is officially reviving Spaceballs with a star-studded sequel slated for theatrical release in 2027. Original stars Bill Pullman and Rick Moranis will reprise their iconic roles as Lone Star and Dark Helmet, marking a rare return to the screen for Moranis after decades largely away from acting. Mel Brooks will also return as Yogurt, with Josh Gad, joining the project as both a lead actor and producer. Directed by Josh Greenbaum, the new installment is described humorously as a non-prequel, non-reboot sequel, part 2 but with reboot elements franchise expansion film. And also the cast are rising actors Lewis Pullman, Bill's son, Keke Palmer in a mysterious role, and details of the plot remained tightly under wraps.
All right. Well, are you first of all, I'm pumped because I saw the teaser. And with Mel Brooks himself.
Mm-hmm. Teaser for Spaceballs.
Correct. Spaceballs. I don't know if it has an official title. Is it Spaceballs the sequel?
No, it's a non-prequel reboot sequel part 2, but with reboot elements for franchise expansion.
Is that the title of the movie?
Probably.
All right. Well, let's watch this promo. I'm gonna have to mute the music, I think. Maybe Alan, you can read it to us, but we'll get a little taste of this. It's under 2 minutes.
38 years ago, there was only one Star Wars trilogy. But since then, there have been a prequel trilogy, a sequel trilogy, a sequel to the prequel, a prequel to the sequel, countless TV spinoffs, a movie spinoff of the TV spinoff, which is also a prequel and a sequel, not to mention 2 Dunes, 7 Jurassic Parks, 2 Avatars, 3 upcoming Avatar making 5 Avatars, 36 MCU movies with 2 different Robert Downey Jr.'s, DCU attempt number 1, DCU attempt number 2, an animated Lion King, a live-action Lion King, a live-action Lion King prequel, 8 Harry Potter movies, a TV series remaking the same Harry Potter movie, a whole streaming service of Star Trek, 7 Alien movies, 2 of which were also Predator movies, not to be mistaken with 6 Predator movies, 1 Prometheus, which is kind of an alien movie, 2 Beatles movies,
4 Beatles movies,
4 Beatles movies, and Oppenheimer. And in 38 years, there has only been 1 Spaceballs.
Yes. And here comes a message from Mel Brooks. Here until now. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Here he is.
After 40 years, we asked, what do the fans want? But instead, we're making this movie.
May the Schwartz be with you.
May the Schwartz be with you.
And I heard Mel Brooks will return as Yogurt.
Yes.
Prediction. This is not a spoiler. I have a prediction. We will meet Baby Yogurt. What do you think?
Yeah.
Are we gonna see Baby
I'm almost
Yogurt?
certain.
They will, if they really lean into it and make fun of everything, the sequel thing and gender and race swaps, they'll have a female dark helmet. How much you want to bet they'll do? If they're smart, they'll do all that stuff. If not, it'll be kind of tame.
Well, the thing is, will they make a joke of it, or will they do it because they have to do it?
No, I think that's the easy. It's the low hanging fruit. Just go for it.
Like when the recent Scream reboot came out, the one with Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, and not the last one, but the first one. The issue I had with that movie was only the white people died in that movie, and the movie didn't even call that out. You know, that's kind of what you expected from Scream. Was if you're the white person, you're gonna die, and then all the DEIs survive. They didn't even see that, and they put it in there anyways, and it made it a bad movie. If Spaceballs does it but doesn't acknowledge it, then I think that's where the problem will come in.
I think they have to go hard.
Yeah.
Make fun of everything. Make fun of do the female. Every character has to have a gender swap version. They introduce the new cast because Bill Pullman is in it, right? He was in the original. His son, Lewis Pullman, is in this.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's such a great opportunity, but will they go hard? We shall see.
Yeah.
In more news, there's a special airing of Jaws to mark the film's 50th anniversary. The story from Variety, Alan, if you would. Steven Spielberg is introducing a special airing of Jaws on NBC this month, among other plans to mark the film's 50th anniversary. I mean, we are celebrating now by offering these shirts for sale. We've got Jaws inspired film threat shirts. I already was at my AMC and picked up the popcorn bucket. I love it. I could not be more happy because there's really never been merch for Jaws. Jaws came out. There was literally Jaws the game, and that's about it. There wasn't really a Star Wars is the thing that ushered in all the merch. Jaws, Spielberg movies, he doesn't lean into merch all that much except for Jurassic Park. Alan, what more can we learn from this story?
Okay. Oh, one thing you didn't mention was Regal is coming out with chum-inspired raspberry ice cream.
Is that real?
No, it's not. All right, here we go.
I thought it was real. I thought it was real. You had me. That's good.
All right, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Jaws, Steven Spielberg has recorded a special new introduction that will accompany a primetime broadcast of the iconic 1975 film on NBC, airing June 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern, exactly 5 decades after its original release. Good thing it's going to be on TV and not in the theaters. This televised tribute is part of a larger NBC Universal initiative to honor the film that launched the modern summer blockbuster. Along with the broadcast, Peacock will stream all 4 Jaws films through July 14th, along with Spielberg's intro and a curated Trouble in the Water collection featuring aquatic thrillers like Piranha, 47 Meters Down, and Captain Phillips. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a trigger warning that comes with it all as well.
Exactly.
NBC Universal is also taking the celebration beyond the screen, teaming with Major League Baseball for Jaws-themed home games hosted by the New York Giants, New York Yankees, and the Philadelphia Phillies from June 20th to the 22nd, complete with scoreboard content and fan giveaway. On home video front, the 50th anniversary edition of Jaws, available June 17th, will include a new documentary, Jaws at 50, the definitive story, produced by National Geographic.
I saw the trailer for that. It looks really good, that documentary.
Yeah, and guess what? You won't believe this, but there will be new merchandise across fashion, toys, and publishing, reinforcing Jaws, not just a film, but a lasting cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, well, there was never, like I said, there was never any real Jaws merch. Jaws was a hit movie. It was, it created the summer blockbuster, that film, and went on to kind of have no real footprint in terms of merch. It's only been recently that there's been merch. I mean, I picked up a lunchbox I've got back there. I bought clothes. I have a nice Temu collared shirt inspired by Jaws. I don't know. I love it. It's back. But my preference is to see it in a theater. There is a screening of Jaws with music that will be at the Hollywood Bowl. Also, if you're a member to the channel, go to the members only posts. We're doing a contest. We partnered with the LA Philharmonic. We're giving away tickets to 10 shows at the Hollywood Bowl. If you live in the LA area and can get to the Hollywood Bowl, look up. We're giving away tickets to the Grease sing-along at the end of June. So if you're a member, look up there now with instructions on how to win. Anyways, back to this. I love doing extra stuff for our members. This is great. I want to see it in a theater, so I'll probably just buy
not
tickets.
see any of this.
No, I'm gonna buy tickets and see it at the bowl.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'll do. So we have a lot more news, folks.
Oh, by the way, I mean, I would be remiss if we didn't share the fact that we review a lot of shark movies. And so just search shark, and this is what we got.
Look, wait, stop. Some of those, there's like, I mean, there's a Ouija shark, there's shark this. If you look
Jurassic
up
Shark 3, the
Jurassic Shark 3. If you go to filmthreat.com and just look up shark, There are so many.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So there's
we have 48 pages.
Wait,
of
and
shark-
9 movies per page. That's like almost 500 reviews.
Yeah. I should point out, speaking of the documentary Playing with Sharks here, this is the story of the shark consultant for Jaws who really wanted to get sharks done right, and she became the ire because people started killing sharks because of how good her job was.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. All I can say is this. Yeah, there it is, Sharknado. I mean, there's a ton. So there you go.
Yeah.
Love that.
And we did the last Sharknado podcast with Anthony Ferrante.
Yeah, Anthony Ferrante, the guy who created Sharknado, was actually on an older episode when Film Threat was an audio podcast.
Yeah.
Before YouTube. All right, we have a lot to talk about, Alan. Sorry to cut you off here.
No problem.
But here we go. Movie that I was looking forward to, and we have an update. Dave Franco, Alison Brie's Together lawyer slams plagiarism suit. If you would look up the notes, this is
Sure.
The trailer for this movie Together looks amazing. It looks a really bizarre horror, and I for one can't wait. This is from Variety. If you would, Alan.
The creators of the Alison Brie and Dave Franco film Together are forcefully denying allegations that their upcoming movie is a copy of the 2023 indie film Better Half. In a copyright lawsuit filed in May, the Better Half team accused Together of being a blatant ripoff, pointing to similarities such as the couple stuck together by a mysterious force and shared references to the Spice Girls and Plato's Symposium. According to the plaintiffs, the original Better Half script was submitted to Brie and Franco's agent in 2020, only to be turned down, making the similarities more suspicious after watching Together's premiere at Sundance, which was acquired by Neon for $17 million. Attorney Nicholas Jampol, representing the Together team, argues the claims are unfounded and the similarities are either generic or coincidental. He asserts that Together screenwriter Michael Shanks had registered a version of the script with the WGA in 2019, well before Better Half was submitted to Brie and Franco. He further distinguishes Together as a dark, bloody horror thriller in contrast to Better Half's lighthearted tone. Jampol called the accusations reckless and warned that if the lawsuit continues, the defendants will pursue legal fees. Meanwhile, the plaintiffs remain adamant, arguing the similarities are too specific to ignore, including a scene where the couple hides their physical attachment from a third party, with both sides digging in. The case is shaping to be a high-profile clash over the boundaries of creative ownership.
What do you think, Alan? I will say this. I do think people have similar ideas. I mean, we just talked about Jaws and, the nearly 500 shark-related movies reviewed on Film Threat over the decades. I mean, people get inspired and you see similar things. I don't think Spielberg is going after Jurassic Shark 3. It could be something that's in the zeitgeist, and there's a similar movie. Look, I have not seen either film named in this suit. I do plan to see Together. What are your thoughts?
One of my thoughts, we're specifically about this story. Of course, the lawyers are going to come out and say that they did it.
Right.
That's their job. That's what they do. To me, the big sticking point is the idea had been presented to the pair beforehand. I think I don't know if the new spin on this is any different, but this is going to be an interesting one. Because there is a connection there. It's not one of those, I was listening to the radio and I heard a song from Taylor Swift that seems similar to a song that I wrote that nobody heard.
Right.
And so it'll be interesting. I don't have enough information to make a conclusion on my part, at least.
Based on the trailer and everything I've read about this film, it is on my top list for horror for this year. I do plan to see it. I'd like to see that original film, and decide for myself. I mean, certainly there's things that are inspired. Even Hollywood, has come out with movies that are similar. There were 2 asteroid movies. They were very different in tone, but this happens. I don't know if there's a lawsuit here. We shall see. We shall see. But the movie's coming out. They did try to stop it, but man, based on the trailers I've seen, I can't wait. So, lots more. We're gonna do one last news item, then do reviews, and then we'll do more news items because we only have like 3 or 4 movies to review today. So,
thanks, Hollywood.
Yeah, thanks. So, but let's get this. Superman is coming, and the press has begun to roll out, and wow, it is big. We heard it will be a Barbie-like promotion. It is. There are promotions with the Superman logo at the Eiffel Tower in Paris. You can see on Instagram. There's the Superman logo in iconic places all over the world. It's unbelievable. But there's been some really great interviews that have rolled out. I'm gonna look at this. David Corenswet talks about a couple things. He talks about the cape. He talks about the trunks and the decision, to use the trunks or not the trunks. So we're gonna look at this, and you will learn a little bit more about the movie. No spoilers here, but really interesting conversation surrounding the character.
And, also getting David's input, frankly, was, as we started to build it up around him, getting his ideas. One of the biggest questions was, were we going to have trunks, or we were going to, not have trunks? I talked to Zack Snyder, who was like, I tried 1 billion different versions with the trunks. And at the end of the day, I tried it, but I couldn't get there. And I was feeling exactly the same way. And Juliana and I talked, and she said, all right, well, I'm going to try, we'll do one version where we try both trunks and not trunks. I went in with David. He tried in not trunks, and he tried in trunks. And I still was going to go with not trunks. And then you said,
well, you wanted trunks in theory. You liked the idea of trunks.
Theoretically, I liked the idea of trunks because it's Superman I grew up with.
But the problem is they look kind of silly. You were looking for a way to make them look cool, or you were looking for a function, an explanation for having them,
reason
that would
why they would
justify
be
them.
there. Yeah.
And my thing was just maybe they're supposed to look a little silly. Maybe the reason he wears them is to look a little silly, basically to undermine how powerful he really is.
In this version of the DCU, everyone knows he's an alien. He shoots beams out of his eyes. He can blow things down with his breath. He's sort of this terrifying creature. And David saying that was like, but he really likes kids and human beings and people, and he wants kids not to be afraid of him. And so that was the thing that made me decide to keep the trunks.
What do you think about that, Alan?
Oh gosh,
it's kind of a weird reason. Like, I want to look goofy in the trunks, so
it's like we need to undermine Superman's power.
But first of all, I like that they're thinking about this that deeply. I do like that. I like their trunks, no trunks. He talked to Zack Snyder about it. They tried it, and it's like ultimately that's the way Superman looks in the comics. Just go trunks. I love that they did that. So.
Yeah, it's just I was there up until the reasoning behind it. I think when I was watching it, I'm thinking, well, this is how they drew Superman back in the beginning, and I look, I think that's how they had to draw it, but that was like so long ago. So this is not 1937 anymore.
Yeah. Well, let's there's some more here. This is from the Fandango official channel, an interview by Perry Nemiroff. They talk some other. Let's hear it.
You played the character.
The cape really makes a big difference. It's the unsung hero of the suit. Most of the fittings don't include the cape, and it is literally the last thing to go on before you go on set. It just changes the silhouette and the way it flows behind you. It just adds gravitas to the thing, I think.
I have to imagine it's the coolest thing ever when you get to put on the suit and then show it not only to your co-stars, but your friends and family. So that was making me wonder, is there any particular reaction to you in the suit that I don't know, is the most memorable or is the most fun to think about?
I sort of forgot that I was wearing the suit. I would wear it a lot, and so
Around your house. In the
yeah,
kitchen.
yeah. But I do remember the first day we did camera tests before we started shooting, coming on and seeing Nick and Rachel for the first time, and them seeing me for the first time. I must admit, I felt a little self-conscious. Like I hadn't gotten used to the suit yet. I hadn't filled the boots yet with my own sense of confidence. So to have them see me and sort of go like, "Oh, that looks pretty cool. Like that works pretty well." That meant a lot.
Yeah, so I gotta say, I like David Corenswet's commitment to the character. I do like that.
Yeah.
And
and as you say, I do like at least the fact that a discussion was had, and a very serious discussion.
Yeah.
Whether we like the outcome of it is another thing, but you would get the sense that would never happen at Marvel.
Well, let's see. There's a couple things from Instagram I thought were really interesting. This is sort of a funny way of addressing Clark's disguise, so to speak. Let's see if I can get this with the audio. Let's watch this.
Hey, Clark.
Hey, Jimmy.
Did you, Who are you?
Yeah. They're making fun of it. They've got a good sense of humor about it. And here's the promotion. Just one last thing to show here. The promotion for Superman is big. This is the Eiffel Tower in Paris. They've got a giant Superman logo, and you'll see it's really astounding. Look at that, the shadow that it casts under the Eiffel Tower. And then you look up, you literally see the Superman logo.
Wow, okay.
That's pretty cool. I gotta say, that is pretty cool. So, and there's you can look up, I won't show everything. There's a lot to see, but if you follow the social media for Superman, wow, there is like they're putting the logo in iconic places all over the world. I gotta say, they did say it would be a Barbie-like promotion for Superman. It looks like they are ready to deliver. Let's go to comments here and see what you have to say.
All right, Thomas Picker for 2. Well, we got to talk about that shirt.
Yeah, get the Film Threat Jaws inspired shirt.
Pilgrim Media for 2. I just threw up a little in my mouth just now.
Yeah, just because of Pedro. That's the Pedro reference to Pedro.
Okay. We gotta read these after each story.
No, it's all good.
James Raschuti, aka
James.
Gen X Fed for 499. Happy Father's Day weekend. All yes to everyone.
I love. By the way, I love my FBI hoodie. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Thanks, James.
And Knee Pain for 2. The lead character better be named Mary Sue.
Yeah, for Spaceballs, that would be perfect.
Blabber put. I know. I was like, what movie are we talking about here? Blabber became a YouTube member.
Thank you, sir.
Or Jean Hu for 742. Will they actually title it Spaceballs 2? The Search for More Money.
I hope they do. I hope they do. They didn't announce a title. They'll save that, but the concept is the time is now. It's so perfect.
Yeah. I mean, yogurt was merchandising.
Baby yogurt is coming.
Yeah, for more merchandising. Thomas Pickett for 2. Are they going to race swap the shark?
I hope they do.
Like, it will be a hammerhead instead of a Goober. Remember, for 30 months, I got COVID for the first time. What is even that? It's called the flu.
Yeah, you'll be fine. I was really sick last week after Monster Palooza. Ooh, I really was.
By the way,
down for the count for like 3 days.
By the way, Mel Brooks is 98.
I hope he survives to the premiere.
Yeah,
that'll be amazing.
He looks great. He's acting amazing. He's acting better than Patrick Stewart and
yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed Mel Brooks movies since I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Silent movie, Young Frankenstein.
The Producers.
High Anxiety
Mm-hmm.
in the song. I mean, I love
Men in Tights. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Right. Thomas Pickett for 2. Pull up Better Half on from Internet
Yeah,
DB.
yeah, for Together. Yeah, Better Half. Thank you, Thomas, for the tip.
Krog based for 20 Swedish krona. Swedish title for Jaws. Hajen the Shark.
Thank you, Krog
I
base.
probably mispronounced that. Oliver Lavery Frog for 5. I think you need the trunks because it balances out the color on the costume. Otherwise, it's too blue. Yeah.
It looks iconic, and I'm glad they thought that deeply about it. I think that's.
But I think Oliver is right. You need some contrast in the middle of the suit there, as opposed to a tiny sack in the front. Thomas Pickett for 5. David Corenswet looks more like Superman on the panel than in the actual movie.
Yeah, fair point.
Brock Samsonite, I think that if Dave and Alison weren't making this movie right now, we would never have even talked about the movie claiming plagiarism.
Yeah.
Christopher Moonlight Productions. Mel Brooks was the only funny part of the teaser. Josh Gad is comedic antimatter and a leech on geek culture. I can't express how badly I want him to go away. Not sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a Josh Gad fan.
Yeah. Yeah, he posts too much. Pilgrim Media for 2. You missed mine.
Hopefully we didn't Pilgrim Media. We're trying to break up the show. Like we're trying to do like bunch of news, comments, reviews, comments, review, comment. So
yeah, but we should have done the Spaceball comments.
Yeah,
the Spaceball.
It's the comment we missed was for $2. Pilgrim Media. Knock knock. Who is it? Land Shark.
Yes.
Thank you, Pilgrim. We don't want to miss you. And then one last comment before we get to our reviews for today.
From Aaron Charman. I got the t-shirt for Father's Day a couple of years ago that says, I am your father.
Yeah.
I have one too.
Yeah. We've got a lot more news stories, but we also have films to review. So let's start with the movie Alan and I both saw, The Unholy Trinity. The Unholy Trinity is a Western starring Pierce Brosnan, Samuel L. Jackson. It's a gritty Western about the search for some lost gold. It's Alan, why don't you tell us, but no spoilers, please.
Yeah, so we're in the 1870s in Montana. A young man, Henry Broadway, is witnessing the hanging of his father, who was set up for a crime he didn't commit. At the last moment, his father urges his son to avenge his death. And by death, he means he has to go after the sheriff of a small town called Trinity. When he arrives in Trinity, he confronts the sheriff, only to realize that the sheriff he's looking for is already dead. Along the way, he meets up with Saint Christopher, which is played by Samuel L. Jackson there, and they team up. He saves the young man's life, but there are ulterior motives going on, and let's just say everything leads up to a giant gunfight at the end of the movie.
It's look, a lot of Westerns are made. Not going to say this one's going to change the world. It's a tight, just over 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I had a great time. There's some shocking violence here and there. There's great twists about every 10 minutes. I'm not going to say rush to the theater, but if you like Westerns, I saw the movie at 3 p.m. on Thursday.
Yeah, me too.
And there were a ton of people there. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't packed, but it was more than half full. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of people that kind of want to see this movie. I was surprised. Sam Jackson and Pierce Brosnan, they seem to be having a great time chewing the scenery. And if you've enjoyed Mobland, you'll really like Pierce in this. I mean, he leans into his accent fully in this. I mean, and there's great side characters. There's, hookers with a heart of gold are part of the story. I mean, I just had a good time, and it solid twists and turns. It had me guessing. I mean, a predictable kind of ending, and very clever, but I enjoyed it. Had a good time. Would recommend. If you like Westerns, you'll enjoy the Unholy Trinity. Alan?
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as you did.
Right. Okay, fair.
Look, you say people like Westerns. Hell yeah. My almost 90-year-old father, whenever I go to his house, the TV is blasting and it's almost always Westerns. That's all he watches. But regarding Unholy Trinity, I've been reviewing a lot of Westerns lately. I think Tornado was the last one. And the one thing I've realized is the complexity of story is always proportional to the budget the movie has. And like Tornado was very simple. The sets were very sparse, indicating it probably had a lot smaller budget. This one had a bigger budget. And as you say, it plays out like your standard typical Western. The thing that only bothered me was the fact that all the women were what? They were
prostitutes.
No. All the women
were.
All of them had a heart of gold.
Right. All the women were sweet, divine, and all the men were kind of had a bad streak. Every single one.
Yeah,
but they weren't the bad guys. They were bad for reasons.
I know,
and mainly it was greed.
Yeah, but you know, when a twist happens and it's usually turns from bad to good, usually there's a woman behind it. And I mention that because of course that's how we have to tell our stories these days. And this one kind of falls into it. Let me see. I think I put in my notes here that I've seen 3 Westerns so far this year, and I think Rust is the leader so far in terms of
the best of them.
The best of them, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, oddly enough.
I did not see Rust, but this is the best Western I've seen this year.
And I think Horizon supposed to come out part 2?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know it got delayed and moved around.
Yeah, I mean, this one kind of like there's a story and there's a through line and all the action kind of swirls around that through line, and then we have the resolution of through line.
What I like was it knew its audience. It's like there's a plot twist every 10 minutes and a gunfight or violence every 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, it was from the get-go. I mean, the movie opens with a hanging, right? I mean, it doesn't mess around.
But that's literally the action of the first half hour of the movie.
No, but it just takes good twists and turns, and I was there. And then a solid ending.
Yeah,
So.
It checks all the boxes. It's fine. It's a solid movie. Again, I'd refer you to Rust if you want to see a better one.
And Sam Jackson gives a great speech where he uses a word to describe himself I've never heard before. Make of that what you will, and see the movie. So I recommend it, and you give it a bear recommend. All right, fair. Let's go to comment.
You're right. My theater was full, mostly full. Don Mack, this sounds like a spaghetti Western plot. I think that's very true.
Very simple.
Triple Threat 305. Pierce Brosnan is getting some roles of late. Good for him.
Yeah,
he knows.
He was really good.
Yeah, he knows the roles he can do and do well, and he finds those roles.
Yeah.
Ololi Ukui, Pierce Brosnan is getting the Sam Elliott vibe in his dotage. Yeah, except for the accent. Patrick Lemire, it's weird how much people love Western series, as so far it has not converted to anything big at the box office. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, you're looking for a really complex story, and I don't think we've gotten it. I think Horizon was probably the closest thing, but to me, that moved way too fast or way too slow.
Let's get to our next movie, Alan. It's a film I did not see.
Yes.
A documentary called Rosanne Barr is America.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's the story of Rosanne Barr as told by Rosanne Barr. We followed her from the very beginning. She started off as a stand-up comedian who made a few appearances on the Tonight Show, which then led to her television show, a very successful show, and then just embroiled in controversy after that. The thing I like about Rosanne Barr is she's a person that's very difficult to nail down.
Mm.
People say, oh yeah, she's this, she's a feminist, she's a socialist, she's a Trump supporter. She is all that, and she sits down and basically for about an hour and a half talks about just her life and how she's pretty much been the same person all her life, but how her career has taken so many twists and turns. And she is one of those people who demands to have control over her career, for better or for worse. When the first series of Roseanne started, she was constantly at war with ABC because they wanted her to do certain things. She wanted to do certain things. For example, she wanted to play a working class mother. They wanted her to be Mary Tyler Moore, and then everyone around her was crazy. And she goes, no, it has to be the exact opposite. She has to be the crazy one, and everyone else has to be normal. And the same thing happened with the new series where she wanted to have a home where you had a conservative, a Donald Trump supporter, and a Hillary supporter. You wanted a family dynamic like that. And yeah, she wanted Dan to be the Trump supporter, and John Goodman wouldn't do it, and so she became the Trump supporter. And then she gets into all the controversy. For example, remember the national anthem at the San Diego Padres?
Oh yeah,
game?
well, she sang it horribly.
Yeah. Well, she tells a story that basically she practiced for months. She wanted to do it right. And she realized the moment she started singing that it was going to go all wrong. And rather than stop and start over again, she leaned into it. And then and then you got it. I think the most poignant thing about Roseanne's life began at the very beginning, because her family told her she was a performer as a child, and her family told her that she is just like Shirley Temple. Boy, you dance just like Shirley Temple. You sing just like Shirley Temple. Your personality is just like Shirley Temple. And then when she went to school, she realized that her family lied to her. That she was nothing like Shirley Temple, and that had the most profound effect on her life. And you see just kind of how her life spirals from that moment in time as a child. And this is just look, you may or may not agree with her politics. She's definitely a socialist. She's definitely but she sees what socialism has done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's which ultimately led to her to be Trump MAGA. And it's all laid out there. It's just I just like the fact that,
Does it get into her canceling?
Yeah, oh yeah. There's a major section about that. And just how she had to kind of turn things around. She's always because she got canceled for something regarding her original series. She did something that it was the Padres game. That almost canceled the series. And then when she did the second cancellation, ABC just basically removed everything Roseanne, and now she doesn't even get royalties anymore because no one can watch her show, the original show. So yeah, I just found it fascinating. Look, if you don't agree with her politics, that's fine. But I watch documentaries with people on both sides, because we're, for the most part, we're just people who see the world differently, and I like to understand how people see the world. And this is one of those documentaries that does that. So it's on VOD. You can go see it right now.
Let's go to comments here.
Sons and Shadows. My mom loved her for years, but she will mostly be known for the Padres game. and I was at that game.
You were at that game, Sons and Shadows? That's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, she talked about it. She went in with the intent of being Shirley Temple, and that she was going to do it a great job, and realized, she screwed that one up. Mark Clement, the best line. Well, middle class was fun after the power was cut.
Yeah. Let's get to more reviews here. Let's
There's just two comments.
Let's get to our main review.
Okay.
Alan, How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version is here. If you're a fan of the original animation, which came out in 2010, It was a huge hit, spawned 2 sequels. The CG animated movie of Vikings and their sworn enemies, the dragons, while one young boy, Hiccup, befriends a dragon he names Toothless. They form a friendship. They're kind of like a boy and his dog, but it's a boy and his dragon. And the live action, how does it compare to the 2010 original movie? That's the thing. How does it compare? And then we'll get into what we thought of it.
How does it compare? It's practically a shot-for-shot remake of the original.
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot of difference. Wait, look, I mentioned in my review, did this movie need to be made? The answer is no. This movie did not need to be made. Is the movie fun? Yeah, the movie's fun.
And I'll say this, the dragon design is accurate to the original animation. I mean, Toothless is, it's almost the same. I mean, more detailed. It's the same dragon. I mean,
listen what you're saying.
The exact thing.
Hold on, listen what you're saying. So in the original cartoon, Toothless was a 3D animated dragon. In this one, Toothless is a 3D animated dragon. Of course they look the same because they're using the same technology. All you're doing is you're replacing the cartoon characters with live people. Other than that, you have the same movie because that's how 3D animation works.
Yeah,
I mean, that's my issue. That's my issue.
Did it need to be made, 15 years later in live action? No. How does this compare? Very slight differences. I'll say that, the main thing being the casting of the actress who plays Astrid.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently she's black. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So
light skinned.
Yeah. Okay. So she is.
Why didn't they just put a blonde wig on her? She would have been fine. She actually is fine in the movie.
Yeah. I'm watching and I'm going, is she black? Okay. So she is the daughter of Thandie Newton.
Yeah.
But it's like, so I have to look this stuff up to decide whether I don't like this movie or not, or whether they were going DEI.
Well, she's like in the original animation, she's gangly, skinny. She's a badass girl boss who's skeptical of dragons until Hiccup kind of shows her the way. I think she's fine. I don't understand why they didn't throw a blonde wig on her. I mean, she does look the part. She does look, when you compare to the animation. In fact, a lot of the other characters do look the part. I think, and what's interesting is Gerard Butler in the original. Gerard Butler played Stoic. He played, Hiccup's dad, and he actually plays him in the live action. And he's really good.
Well, and the original director of the animated is the director of this live action as well.
Yeah, well, I'll just say that a lot of the changes are expansions of certain characters. Like Snotlout has a little bit more to do, a little more of a father-son story there. Stoic with Gerard Butler, he does more in the movie. So they've expanded on certain things compared to the live action. They've expanded on it, but it's pretty much, I don't want to say shot for shot. It is the original. I mean, the ending's the same. I think Nick Frost is really good as Gobber the Belch. He's missing a foot and arm. Like he's good. He's good. And then Rough Nut and Tough Nut, the twins, they're right out of the animation. I just wonder, why did they need to make this? And I read somewhere the budget for the live action is actually less than the budget of the animation. You believe that? That's kind of crazy. So, they're gonna fast track a sequel. I'm sure it will do very well at the box office. Did it need to be made? No. But in an era when Hollywood is bankrupt of ideas, and when is it not? This is what we're doing, folks. We're remaking these movies, but the lesson is remake, but make very few changes. I do think the one thing they do also, it's worth pointing out, there's actually all different kinds of races of Vikings, or they're not Vikings, just warriors, right? You have the Vikings, then you've got some Asian warriors, black warriors, and they explain in a line, that people came from all over that were affected to battle the dragons. So they do explain the diversity, so to speak, that they're warriors from all different warrior tribes that have united to take the dragons on.
Yeah.
Well,
the dragons also had their own personalities and things like that. And so
yeah, the dragons I thought were very good. I mean, look, I just was like, I sat there and I did not dislike the movie.
Yeah.
I just thought I've already seen this movie. I even talked to my daughter. I said, do you want to go see it? She did not want to go.
Yeah, that was my daughter's exact response as well.
She said, I don't want to see How to Train Your Dragon because I've already seen How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah,
she
I mean,
does not want to go. I feel like she, in some way, kind of resents the fact that
they
they're not making new stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's just so. Look, there are some minor differences, but I think this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching the first one and it was good and I wasn't overwhelmed by it. And then when I realized I was going to see the live action, I realized I'm probably not going to see a greater version than the one I saw originally.
Right.
And
It's not
that was
better.
certainly true.
It's not better.
Yeah, here, let me throw up the box office here just real quick.
You could zoom in on it.
Yeah,
Let
there we
us
go.
know.
But you can see down here the first one, opening weekend 43 million. Worldwide box office was $500 million. Just for inflation, all that blah blah blah. But it looks like this will soundly defeat this one at 75 million opening weekend, and it will probably make over $500 million when it's said and done. So, and if it was made for less, that just means more money for Universal here. My only thing about that weekend box office was, they had that early fan access on Wednesday, but you could only watch it in IMAX or 3D. And I was going to take my family to see it, but not at $25 a ticket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so,
well, do you recommend? I'll say this. Yeah. I'm giving it a bare recommend. It's fine. You could wait for streaming or whatever. It's fine, but you can already watch How to Train Your Dragon now. The original from 2010. They're not much different. Even the music is the same. They use the same score. Like someone must have come to them and said, look, we're watching these Disney ones come out and they're changing them. Not a good idea. Let's not change ours. Keep it simple. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Just do a translation.
Yeah. I mean, look, this movie is for families and it will do well just on that fact. But the reality is all they did was they took the original animated feature, took out all the cartoon people and replaced them with real people. And then other than that, the sets look the same. As you say, the music is the same. The story is the same. The dragons are exactly the same. So, this is definitely a cash grab because look, they're going to double the revenue they made from the original film.
Well, I'll just say this, that I know this film was not made with AI, but it might as well have been. And it's fine. Yeah. So bear recommend for me, Alan.
Can you imagine if they used AI to make the X-rated version of this?
I can't imagine that, but Alan, do you give it a recommend?
Yes, recommend. Bear recommend.
Recommend. Okay, a bear recommend for me. Let's go to your comments.
Razor for 2, Dragon Slayer and Dragonheart are the GOAT movies.
Yeah, I like GOAT movies.
There's a GOAT movie coming up. Mitch Nutt, composer for 5. John Powell's How to Train Your Dragon 2025 soundtrack is much more than a remix. Lots of additions, including an incredible a cappella choir in the end credits.
It is the same tunes. I mean, the same. Yes, it's a remix, a different arrangement for
Right.
sure of the same music. But yeah, thanks, Mitch Nutt. Good luck being composer. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the show.
Dark Sith 87, member for 31 months.
Thank you.
Having never seen the original animated movie, I was reluctantly dragged to see it, but really enjoyed it. If it's a shot for shot, it's going to make money.
Yeah, this movie is 100% going to make money.
It's safe. That's the thing that parents want. It's safe to
Yeah.
take your kids to.
Yep.
Patrick Lemire, I feel like Jay Baruchel's voice really sold the original character. Yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
Mhm.
I like Jay Baruchel.
Yeah. Rock Samsonite, this is an ad movie. Its sole purpose is to punch people in their nostalgic ball sack and make them open their wallets for all the new merch at Isle of Burke in Florida. Yeah. Epic
yes.
Universe. Epic Universe is
It's an
got
Epic
their-
Universe tie-in.
Yeah. And they have actual flying dragons there, which is pretty cool.
That's what I'm told.
Aaron Sharman, being blonde myself, I found the movie to be a little bit anti-blonde. At least 3 of the 4 characters were swapped from blonde. Goober was the only character they kept blonde.
Yes, well, anti-blonde, we went from redhead erasure, ginger erasure, to now we're gonna blonde erasure.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. All right. Last movie for us to review today, Alan, is a romantic comedy by director Celine Song called Materialists. It stars Dakota Johnson. She is a matchmaker that matches women with rich men. Chris Evans is an ex-boyfriend who also happens to work in the service industry. When she's at the wedding of one of her clients, she meets a guy played by Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Harry is his name.
Harry. And he's stunning. He's good looking. He's 6 foot. He's got lots of money. He is, well, could be Lucy's type. And I gotta say, it's, seen one romantic comedy, seen them all. But this is so well done.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Celine Song, the director. She did a movie called Past Lives, which was a very serious film about romance and loss and regret. This movie is about modern dating, and it leans into it. I mean, it is hard conversations. What's great is about Lucy as a character, played by Dakota Johnson. One, I love Dakota Johnson. Celine Song, I discovered, worked as a matchmaker for 6 months, and that kind of inspired this story. And she just lays in hard. The men make this money. You got to make this money. You got to be a certain professional. Men have to be this type, this height. Women don't like this, but then it's like their value diminishes the older they get. One guy just straight up says, not dating anyone in their 30s. A guy in his 40s, he's like, I'm not going to date anyone that's like 29 is even pushing it for me. And Lucy lays it out. Like, this is your value of stock as a woman. This is what you can get. This is what men want. You're not going to get this. You haven't reached the point where you have a realistic version, a realistic view of your value in the marketplace. But I love the movie, how it opens. It opens in prehistoric times with cave people having a romance. And it's a great.
Well, they set up kind of as the first couple ever.
The first couple ever to get married. This movie is so smart, so real. And what I like about it too, it doesn't mince words about male, female BS in dating today. Chris Evans' character, I forget the name of his character. John, he's a guy who works service. He's a struggling actor. He works restaurants and service jobs, whatever. He's poor. They show a conversation, a flashback to Lucy and John when they were younger. They were together for 5 years. They're having an argument about paying for parking. It's so real. What struck me when I watched this scene is that you rarely see this. Working class people portrayed in a movie with the realities of living in the modern world.
In New York City.
In New York City, it's like parking, it's this and whatever, we can't afford it and whatever. I've got my car, like they're stressed about money. And Lucy's conclusion is, I don't want to worry about money, but does she want love? Yes. Now, I know Pedro Pascal is overexposed. I think he's perfect in this movie.
Yeah.
And when there's a reveal about his character we won't discuss, that is so great. It explains everything, and I'm not going to say what it is. Alan, please, no even tease of what it is.
I know, but I think she wrote the role. She wrote the role for Pedro, and it's perfect.
It's so perfect. He's so perfect. I mean, look, he is overexposed. He's very good in this as this type, but there is no better. I mean, it is romantic comedy, but more serious than I mean, it's very humorous, but it's humorous because it's real. I thoroughly loved it. May go back and see it again too. And Celine's song, damn,
she just hits it out of the park again.
The park.
The last rom-com I remember feeling like, wow, this is a real romance, was Past Lives, which she wrote. I mean, we're not getting romance movies like this anymore. And the last two for me is written by the same person. I mean, falling in love is not what people make movies about anymore. And it's sad. It's one of the most powerful emotions out there. And Hollywood is avoiding it for some reason.
I can't rave about this movie enough because what I liked about it is it's very real. It's very real in terms of the way it talks about men and women, what they're looking for, and that the matches are more about like check boxes. Like, and she is just so,
let me just explain that. But the whole theme of the movie is, do you marry someone because they check all the right boxes, or do you marry someone out of love? And when you marry out of love, you then have to accept all the negatives that come with it. For example, John still doesn't have a job at this point, doesn't have a real job, and so is it because, do you marry because it's practical, or do you marry because you're in love? And that's the central tension throughout this whole movie. The other thing is, I'm going to make the bold statement here, but Celine's song reminds me a lot of David Mamet in the sense that every single scene in this movie is written with intention. There's a reason this scene exists. There's a reason this conversation that Lucy is having with John, or Lucy is having with Harry, there's a reason that conversation exists, and it just informs the story that is being told. And this is a writer's movie because it is dialogue heavy, which may throw people off or maybe turn people off because there's a lot of talking in this movie. But it's very smart talking. It is that struggle between married out of convenience or married out of love. And that is the theme that is just hammered over and over again. And you're sitting there going, or I was sitting there going, I really relate to this because I remember what it was like dating over 25 years ago. I'd like to forget what it was like dating, but I do remember it. It's just, again, I'll always say it, movies that impress you, that strike you, are always movies that you relate to, that where you say, oh, I've been there. And this is one of those movies that if you've been struggling dating and have gotten married or whatever, this is that movie that just reminds you that, oh yeah, I've been there. I've had this conversation. I've thought this out in my mind. And Celine's song again hits another home run.
This is I don't know, one of my favorite movies this year. I think the script, as you pointed out, David Mamet, she's like, the dialogue is so smart. Every line is necessary. It's so hits. There's so much truth in this. Romantic comedies tend to be kind of dumb, cliche. We've seen it before. You've never seen one like this. I mean, I would even hesitate to put it in the romantic comedy territory.
It's more romance than comedy.
It's more romance than comedy, and it's very smart, very truthful. And there is a thread of a character, I forget her name, one of her clients that has a bad experience. And you see her try to help this woman kind of realize where she's at. Like, you know, she had a good date with a guy, but he didn't connect with her. And like, she thinks she had a good date. The other guy didn't, like, so that's a running thread. And Lucy kind of like struggling. She has this job, but she knows the bullshit. She's so much in her head about her own dating life. I really love this movie. It's just incredibly smart and really truthful and honest. And I just hope come award season that this movie isn't forgotten, at least on the script level. Celine's song is really amazing. It's so well directed. The cinematography, the scenes with the cave people, which comes out of nowhere, but connects. It's so smart. I will see every movie she directs, and wow, was blown away. Strong recommendation. Go see this. A good movie to go see, like as a couple or on a date. Great movie. Can't rave enough. Alan?
I mean, there was only one reason that I even was was willing to see this movie, and it was Celine's song. Pedro was definitely not a selling point.
Yeah, he's not a selling point at all, but his character, when you see how he pays off, man, you know what scene I'm talking about? Where he's kind of just fully honest with her. And the audience went wild. It was like, it was great. It was
audience. I saw it at the Orange County Film Society, and Celine, I guess, when she allows societies to play this early, she said, why don't you make it a double feature? And so they actually played When Harry Met Sally before this one.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was just the perfect lead-in to the Materialists.
Well, strong recommend from me. And Alan, I know you're recommending it, and not just because the director's Asian.
Yeah, I know. I kept at the beginning of the movie is like, how come there are not more Asians in this movie?
Yeah, I know.
Why are the stars all white? I know.
Well, you know, what can you say? I mean, there weren't many other Asian characters at all, maybe in the background, but really fantastic film. And I don't think
they were all in the background. Yes,
we will not see a better romantic comedy this year. There's no way.
No, like I said, I don't remember seeing one since Past Lives, and that was a much darker and brooding film.
I mean, not one that dealt with the subject matter in a serious way. And that's what this does. I mean, there are some very funny things in this film, but it's also deadly serious as well. And it's knocks it out of the park.
It's not that kind of upbeat wackiness you get from your typical Hollywood rom-com. It's definitely not there. It's much more grounded.
Let's go to comments.
All right, Thomas Picker for 5. I can't wait until Pedro plays all the male leads in a movie.
That's coming.
I think he already has.
Subscribe to Pedro Plus on Disney Plus.
Yes. By the way, Pedro has just signed on to be older Paul Atreides. So there you go. Nicholas Whitfield for 5. Always have you guys on while working in the studio. Thanks for the great content and company during these long sessions.
Thanks, Nicholas Whitfield. Appreciate you. Thanks a lot. And appreciate you listening.
I feel like we would distract creativity.
Hope we're not too distracting.
Dark Sith 87 for 20. Past Lives with the highlight of 23. Was adamant about watching this because of Pedro, but your review changed my mind. Plus, looking at Dakota Johnson makes me happy, so I'll watch it. Yeah, definitely.
Dark Sith 87. Check back next week. Want to hear what you thought.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Christopher Moonlight Productions. It's really good to hear about a woman writer-director who is good in an industry drowned out by gender elevation over merit. Her hill is probably that much harder to climb because of it.
I mean, I will say this. She solidified her place as a great director. Not a good director, a great director.
And writer.
There's so much intention behind every shot. Celine's song has an eye, and she really has an eye. And Wow, kudos to her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people are questioning me comparing her to Mamet. And yeah, she's not doing the hard, gritty stories that Mamet tells, but Mamet is about the words. Mamet is about the lines and the dialogue and the story. And she is very much in that category. Uncle Remus is the gayest Pedro Pascal dating movie ever. It's probably the most straight Pedro Pascal you'll see.
Yeah, he's very straight.
Professor Dang just got out seeing Materials. I kind of enjoyed the second half of the movie more than the first half, but overall enjoyed it.
Well, thank you, Professor Dang.
Overall, he enjoyed it. This is not funny, says Pedro gazes at Dakota and Chris together. I'll have what she's having.
All right. Now, let's get to some news stories we missed. Related to Materialists, Dakota Johnson says Hollywood is a mess right now. So she could not be more right. Here it is, a post from Variety, and we'll get to that story. Alan, if you would bring up.
Well, actually, probably it's just best to read the tweet there.
Yeah. Dakota Johnson says Hollywood is a bit of a mess right now. It's hard when creative decisions are made by people who don't even really watch movies or know anything about them. And that tends to be what's occurring a lot. When something does well, studios want to keep that going, so they remake the same things. But humans don't want that. They want fresh. They want to feel new things, experience new things, see new things. So I don't know. I guess it's all just a bit of a mess right now, isn't it? There is a story on Variety.
Actually, this is from her appearance on Hot Ones.
Yeah. Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I've got the other story. Alan, what do you think? I really do love Dakota Johnson. I think she speaks truth about a lot of things happening in Hollywood. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's based on, but it's the same story. The thing that got me was she says, but humans don't want that. They want fresh.
Yeah.
They want to feel new things, experience new things, see new things. That's what the Hollywood studios can't deliver at the moment. And that's, to me, that is the reason why the box office is failing, because you're just giving us the same old, rather than get us to go out there. And that's why, following Dakota Johnson's career, after Madam Web, there was Daddy-O, which is another interesting movie that it's just a two-hander, a conversation with Sean Penn in the cab. But it is packed with a lot of dramatic goodness, and the material is just as well. I appreciate the fact that I think she paid her dues with the Shades of Grey movies. And so now she can just sit back and just pick out roles that excite her. And then maybe she needed a little bit more money with Madam Web.
I mean, I will say this. I think that what we saw on the press tour for Madam Web, she's got a great sense of humor. Mm-hmm. She has a self-awareness, and I feel like she knows the industry. And can you think of some inspiring executives? Mostly we complain about, people like Kevin Feige or, David Zaslav, among others. But she's right. She's calling out the nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, so, Yash brings out Peanut Butter Falcon, another great movie she was in. I mean, I do like the choices she's making, and they're not big blockbuster movies. They're just these small movies that have big impact.
Quick comment here from Patrick Lemire. I like her. I've never heard her say anything dumb or anti-audience. Had great humor about Madam Web. Yeah, that was awesome. That was very funny. Hey, Samuel L. Jackson is in the Unholy Trinity Western movie that's opening this weekend. And he had something to say about the why he chooses the roles he chooses from Culture Crave. Let's take a look at this clip, Alan, and then we'll comment on it here. Let's hear what Sam has to say.
I miss going to auditions. My agents go, "You're not auditioning anymore." I go, "It's a chance to act for somebody."
Are there any roles you wish you haven't had yet that you'd like to do?
No, I do movies that I want to go see. I do popcorn movies. I don't do movies that, I'm gonna get an Oscar for, a statue for. I got an Oscar, but I got an Oscar because I've done so many movies, which is fine. I think an honorary Oscar, yes, an Oscar, fine. But I don't, pick a movie and go, win an Oscar if I do this.
Oh God, no. Do people do that?
Fuck yeah. People out there statue chasing all the time. I've been fortunate to be in a lot of big old franchise, things like Marvel and Star Wars and stuff like that. But, I pick other little wacky movies to do, like Snakes on a Plane or Hitman's Bodyguard. Things that make me happy that I would have gone to the movie to see.
Do you think you're a workaholic?
You know what? I could be, but as an actor, there's only a limited number of roles you're going to do in your lifetime. I only get up every day and act. So if I have the opportunity to do it, I do it. I miss going to auditions.
That's well, I gotta say, I you know what? Who doesn't love Samuel L. Jackson? Even though that that Marvel series he was in was
Secret Invasion.
Oh
Even
my
you
God, it was
forgot.
so bad.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, the guy. You know what? Playing a role, playing a part, he's doing the job.
Contractually obligated.
But I mean, that explains this Western, the Unholy Trinity. He just wants to be in a popcorn movie. That's a good enough reason.
Yeah, and you could tell he was having fun in that role. He was not the protagonist. Let's put it that way. Yeah. The other thing is, life's too short to be in bad movies, or to be in movies or on set in a way that is a miserable experience.
Let's get to comments.
Yash Shrivastava. Samuel L. Jackson is 75 freaking years old and barely looks 50. Yeah, well, Mel Brooks is 98.
Yeah.
And barely looks 80.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm setting up the next story.
Okay.
You gotta bear with me.
Well, okay. So you want me to go down?
No, we'll go right here. Let's go.
Let's see. Brock Samsonite. His Oscar attempt was Django. If he was ever going to get an Oscar, it would have been working with Tarantino. What did he get the Oscar for? Samuel Jackson. That man was everything in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Yeah, love it. Hey, Alan. The final season of The Boys is coming, and we have some boys-related stories. They're promoting The Boys. You have to see this to believe it. There was a segment in a story called Vought on Ice, which was characters from The Boys doing it like an ice-capade show. It's incredibly ridiculous. And it was actually at a mall near us at the Westfield Mall in Santa Monica. Last week, you could look up videos. Here it is. Vought on Ice, June 7th and 8th, 2025. Live performances every hour. It's okay. You can reserve tickets, but it's also viewable. There was a whole show about Christmas. Like, people say happy holidaes. Forget that. People say Merry Christmas. And it's ripped right from the show. They actually did a live ice-capades. So I think that's pretty funny. But also it's pointed out, Alan, you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
That you were right. For Eric Kripke, The Boys was always about Trump. Alan, you were right.
I was right.
Homelander is Trump. Alan, if you would read this story.
Okay, I'm just going to read a little part of this article, but in other hands, it might have been like Diet Deadpool, but Kripke crafted a scathing satire of the 21st century America, where Homelander, the chiseled superhero in the American flag cape, is an authoritarian proxy for Donald Trump. That's right. He said it right there. Look, it's easy just to say that, he's Trump. But no, if you watch the series, when I was actually watching the series, there were moments where it was like, oh, they're pulling the Trump here, they're pulling the Trump there, and a lot of it had to do with the speeches he gave, and then a couple of his actions. But no, people tried to convince me that no, this was just pure satire, and I said no. He hates Trump, and Homelander is Trump. There you go. Okay, you're muted.
Here is some of the I found some footage of the Vought on ice. It's pretty ridiculous, but here it is. I'm not going to play the audio, but they got kids playing on there. It's the Vought on ice was just kind of here's the show right here.
We nailed the music.
I don't know. So here it was. This is we've seen screenings at this point.
Yeah. Where is this? I didn't realize they had an iceberg. Did they just build it?
They did it live to promote the series coming.
But there's no ice.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I've been here many times, but I don't remember night.
You don't remember this series?
No, I don't remember it. This ball having.
You don't have to. Anyways, you get the idea, Alan. Vought on ice is a ridiculous concept, but look, it doesn't surprise me about Eric Kripke. It's Trump influences everything, but I think this final season, I mean, it ends. The story of the boys will end.
Yes.
I think it'll end with Homelander's death. Homelander is going to die in some horrific way.
I feel like it'll end with his election as president of the world.
I don't know if he's going to get elected.
Make planet Earth great again.
Let's go to comments.
Sons and Shadows, The Boys is terrible in these later season. Yes, I've been trying to watch. It's straight trash now. I gave up on the
Yeah,
Boys.
I mean, look, I almost gave up. I like the characters. So it's like there are beloved characters in a show that's currently bad.
Mm-hmm.
I care about the characters, which is why I'm still watching. I know I'm a glutton for punishment.
I know.
I will watch the final season because I want to see Homelander go nuts and kill lots of people, and I want to see how it ends. So I'm stuck. I will watch the final season, but Sons and Shadows, I feel you.
Yes. Yeah. Carlos Alfredo Lopez. # Alan was right. Yeah. Tony Youthful Eagle Eyes. The comic was written in the early 2000s when Trump wasn't involved. He was a Democrat in the 2000s. Wasn't involved in politics whatsoever. Eric Kripke is a piece of garbage with ultimate Trump derangement syndrome at Film Thread.
That happens.
Yeah. By the way, we don't take a political stance here. We're just making observations of culture and movies. Patrick Lemire, the point of the sequence is how badly it goes off the rails. Just like this is just bad skating at a mall.
I know. I thought it was funny that they did that concept.
It's
so
publicity. That's all.
Yeah.
I'll
You
admit.
said that was a little palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Just a palate cleanser from what we just saw.
I feel cleansed. Penis dick.
Folks, thank you so much. A little shorter show today, but there are, fewer movies. What can we say? We'll be back Monday with Versus. We'll talk about Dragon, box office. I'm sure there'll be more Superman news. And Alan will give you his opinion.
Yeah, we hate everything. Yep. We hate everything.
Alan, what do you got coming up this weekend?
Okay, I am back at the National Comedy Theater tomorrow night at 7:30. Mark was there. Thanks for coming. And I should mention next week is the beginning of Dances with Films, so I will be there. And I'll talk to you after the show, but we might have a guest next week. A very big guest.
We have a big
But
guest.
we'll see. You know how these things work out.
Yeah,
So, but we may have a guest next week.
Yeah, we haven't had interviews lately, but we've got some coming up. So there you go. Stay tuned for those. Thank you to our mod, Lord Thoth, Atomic Glory, Glenn Nuccio. Thanks to everyone who sent in a super chat and just chatting respectfully in the chat. We've got a pretty, for the most part, respectful chat. You know, not too many people going off the rails. Usually, if anyone goes off the rails, it's usually me.
We should go off the rails more often.
Yeah, if that's the rail, I'm all about it. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Monday with Versus, Hollywood on the Rocks, and more reviews next week, 28 days later. I can't wait. I think
next week?
I think I'm seeing it Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
But
we're seeing Elio on Monday.
Elio. Yeah, we've got Elio 28 days later.
On Tuesday,
Lots of stuff. So stick with us. Thank you so much, everyone. Alan?
Let's get out of here.